Yo, what's the word, Herbs? It's your boy, Saif Bud. Back at it again with another episode of Fighting Words. I'm going to give you guys my breakdown and prediction of the Vasil Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez bout at uh, at 135. Uh, I was prepping a grandiose prediction breakdown video with all the little, visual trimmings and whatnot. But between work and school, uh, time got away from me and shit. So I'm gonna give it to y'all raw. You know what I'm saying, on the early morning wake and bake tip before I get my shit started. Alright. But plus side of that, I learned a lot of cool shit about editing. So, prepare for some nice shit in the future. It's the plus side. But anyway, let's get to it, man. I broke the fight down into five different categories: power, speed and agility, conditioning, uh, fight IQ, and the intangibles. Uh, Start off with power. Uh, I give the power advantage to Teofimo Lopez, even though I do feel like Vasil Lomachenko's power is very underrated. You know what I mean? Teofimo has that one punch power, but as far as it's a cumulative power, cumulative punch and power and damage at the end of the day, Lomachenko I feel like is super underrated. You know, he definitely goes really really well to the body. He uh, he put a lot of guys down. You know what I'm saying, from attacks to the body, including Jose Linares, who was a bigger man, and he even hurt an even bigger man to the body with Luke Campbell. So Lomachenko, his power is nothing to sneeze at. I really don't really give Teofimo too much more of the edge on power because Lomachenko's power is tested and proved in the ring as Teofimo Lopez, as far as his former opposition. He he hasn't really he never really hurt anybody who was known to have an iron chin. We seen in his last bout him knocking out Richard Coleman, but at the same time too, I mean we did see uh, Coleman rocked and wobbled by Robert Easter Jr. And although he's not feather fisted, he's not known for being the heaviest of hand. You know what I'm saying? But he got wobbled by Robert Easter, and so Comey isn't necessarily the most iron scalp, but even still in all, I still gave the power advantage to Teofimo Lopez. And when it came to speed and agility, Lomachenko is the faster combination puncher. When it comes to one punch speed, I possibly could give that to Teofimo Lopez. As far as with the quick counters, he definitely shows that he has very very good hand speed. Uh, and as far as footwork definitely goes to Lomachenko. Lomachenko has legendary footwork and you know that agility. I just give that advantage to uh, speed and agility advantage to uh, Vasil Lomachenko. Even though we do see the fact that Teofimo Lopez has very very quick reflexes. He's really great at parrying punches. Really good head movement, and a really really efficient guard. But even still, we haven't seen him in there with somebody who can really that test all of that speed and agility, to his fullest, with another elite fighter. So it's a lot of question marks out there, but still, the speed and agility goes to Vasil Lomachenko just off the strength that he does stuff in the ring that we never seen before. So speed and agility, Vasil Lomachenko. All right, and conditioning, I kind of broke down to how well the chin is, how good the stamina is, the punch resistance, uh, things of that nature. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, Teofimo Lopez, I believe he's only been to 12 rounds twice, and obviously Lomachenko with even with his amateur career, his conditioning is definitely tested and proved. You know what I mean? He never had any issues lasting in 12. His stamina is good. His chin also has been tested. He's even been knocked down before, flash knocked down with the Jorge Linares. Uh, so when it comes to conditioning and conditioning, I give that to Vasyl Lomachenko as well too. Both of these guys have done some, I guess you could say some really good sparring with some elite fighters. We've seen that Vasyl Lomachenko stays sharp, sparred with a young Shakur Stevenson. You feel me? Young Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? He got that sparring in. Even though he just he sparred him a couple of years ago, but Lomachenko got some very unorthodox training. As far as with the hand-eye coordination things, and when you press the little colors and numbers and stuff on the board. He even has a background in his national traditional dance. Where he just brings a little something different to the game. He holds his breath underwater for about a good 5 minutes at a time. Just unheard of type stuff. You know what I mean? Even though on the other side, we see that Teofimo Lopez is very, very, very much in shape. We've seen him jumping rope. The boy bad. You know what I'm saying? He got some real good reflexes. Both of them have really good rhythm. And as far as sparring too, I almost forgot why I even bring that up, because even though Teofimo Lopez is a young fighter, he got some legendary training in there too. You know what I mean? He fought he sparred against Gervonta Davis, another southpaw. You know what I mean? Who definitely can give him that good type of look. You know what I mean? And plus we've seen him. It's like a lot of he doesn't have a problem with fighting a southpaw. Magdaleno? I believe Magdaleno was a southpaw as well too. And we actually seen him. We seen him. Let me get this real quick. I noticed that in the Magdaleno fight that Teofimo Lopez actually he does something. He actually circles to his right against the southpaw. Which is primarily would be a no. But I seen him I seen how he was like for a lot of the fight, he was circling to his right. Instead of doing the traditional thing of staying away from going to your right, because you want to stay away from that straight left of the southpaw opponent, and plus you want to try to avoid from letting him have too much of the lead foot advantage. But I seen him circling to his right and countering underneath with the right, his right uppercut to hit a southpaw opponent, which I thought was pretty interesting, man. It's like he's no stranger to a southpaw opponent. That's my point. So when it came to conditioning, even though both of these guys showed that they're both pretty they're both pretty they're well in shape, they're well conditioned. The chin of Teofimo Lopez is filled with questions because we haven't seen him rocked at all by anybody who would be considered a world beater. So it's no real telling on how that chin is, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of miles on it to go for Teofimo Lopez, because he's a young guy. You never seen him hurt to the body or anything like that. But when there's that many unanswered questions about it, I had to give the conditioning to Vasyl Lomachenko, because his chin has been tested. He is battle tested. He's shown he can go, to 12 with no problems. As far as going to 12 rounds, I think about the last time Teofimo Lopez went 12 rounds was with Masayoshi Nakatani, and he went to 12 and he didn't look fatigued at all. So I still give him a lot of credit for his conditioning, and he still had a lot of spring in his step toward the end of that fight when he was chasing around. Uh, he was chasing around Masayoshi Nakatani. So I mean, yeah, he has good legs under him, so he's well conditioned. But when it comes to conditioning, I'm gonna just go ahead and give that one to Vasyl Lomachenko. As far as fight IQ, I broke that down into a couple different categories as well, just so that it be understood. Ring IQ can be measured in the experience, the quality of former opponents, ring generalship, and the actual bad habits and flaws that these two fighters do make. All right. So that being said, when it comes to experience, uh, it's not even a comparison. They both have 15 professional fights, but Lomachenko has almost 400 amateur fights under his belt. And the fact of the matter is, it's a very good chance that uh, he's ran into an opponent that is similar to a Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo being 23 years old and only 15 fights in, I'm pretty sure he's never seen another fighter like Vasyl Lomachenko. Uh, and as far as just former opposition, uh, it's not a comparison either. Lomachenko is it just in the pros has fought way better opposition than Teofimo Lopez. As far as ring generalship goes, uh, Lomachenko has a non-conventional way of approaching boxing, uh, but he has great ring IQ. We see that just as far as just personal combat. I mean, it's there, and when it comes to the ring IQ, I do see a lot of ring wisdom in Teofimo Lopez. I mean, he does a lot of. You can see that he's well trained. He has a really good understanding of fighting and and just boxing in general. I mean, just by the moves that he does and the counters, the defense that he puts up, the head movement. He has a lot of veteran tricks in the bag. I put it like that. And he displays it, and he displays it, and it's impressive to see coming from a young fighter. He fights like a veteran, even though he's obviously a young guy. But when it comes to one thing I did notice between both of these guys, and what's going to play a big factor, is understanding of distance. All right, both of these guys have fought opponents that are very much so taller, rangier than they are, and I look at it like, all right, Luke Campbell, and Vasyl Lomachenko. We could tell. I could tell just from just by looking at it, Lomachenko has a great understanding of distance. You know what I mean? Um, and not even just from you can tell by the way he moves around in the ring and how he can so efficiently land that straight left hand to an opponent. I look at it back when he was in a lower weight class and he fought against Rocky Martinez. It seemed like he was landing a straight left from a distance, like very very easily, like consecutively. You know what I mean? And then you look at him with Luke Campbell. He had understanding to know how he had very well understanding of how to fight a taller opposition. And on the other side of that, Teofimo Lopez, when he fought Masayoshi Nakatani, he definitely didn't. Like he even came out later and said, "Oh, I'm not fighting anybody else taller." I think that was a lapse in judgment, and in saying something like that, because even if he felt like that, he shouldn't even say things like that out loud. It shows a sign of mental weakness and inability. You know what I mean? So, but as far as judging distance, I definitely have to give that to Vasyl Lomachenko. Uh, Another thing too, one thing about flaws, about their flaws and their mistakes that they make. I noticed that Lomachenko, he sometimes he gets caught by following his opponent. Like he puts on a lot of pressure on these guys, and he can back up people very 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 well. You've seen that with in his last two fights with Luke Campbell and Jorge Linares. But you know, he got caught, just chasing after his opponent, and we seen him get, have to pay for that, getting countered by Luke Campbell, and also catching that straight right from Jorge Linares right down the pike. Pretty much just having a lapse in concentration and just following his opponent around. Sometimes just walking straight in, which is extremely dangerous. You know what I mean? And being a pressure fighter, sometimes I feel like he loses focus sometimes, and he looks at his work. He looks at his work, and he kind of just walks in. Sometimes when he has the guy on the run and evading punches, and that leaves him open for counters. And we definitely seen that when he caught that straight right from Jorge Linares. It's just a flaw that he definitely has, a lapse in concentration, and that can be exploited by somebody who's a great counter punisher like Teofimo Lopez. And when it comes to the flaws of Teofimo, he's going to be in there with a southpaw with Lomachenko, and I notice a lot that Teofimo, when he throws his right, he drops his left hand. You know what I mean? He drops his left hand, and Lomachenko has a great right hook, a great southpaw right hook, and if Teofimo is going to be using that southpaw killer of a right hand, uh, he can't leave. He can't drop that left. He can't drop his. He needs to keep that left hand up while he's throwing that right hand. And I feel like honestly he's doing that because it's just a bad habit he's formed over time because his reflexes are so well. He's been able to get away with it. But with somebody with the elite speed and power of a Vasyl Lomachenko, he's definitely going to try to exploit that at any chance he gets. So Teofimo throws that right hand with a lot of power, and with throwing that right hand with a lot of power, he does drop his left hand, and it's not a one off. He does it often. I looked at a couple fights, and he throws that right hand very hard, and anybody who knows better, you throw the best way to throw that right hand is with your left shoulder. You know what I mean? If you want to land it you want to throw it with maximum amount of power. That swinging effect of throwing that right hand, pulling that left shoulder back, and wow. You know what I mean? But you still got to keep that hand up. You got to keep that left hand up. So it's definitely something that can be exploited. Time will tell. And as far as the intangibles, I think the two main intangibles for these guys is heart and rhythm. You know, both of these fighters fight with a great amount of rhythm, which I feel like gave them an advantage over their past opponents. You know what I mean? Naturally, we see Teofimo Lopez. He's got very very good just rhythm and just in there while he's fighting. I noticed that both of these guys have not fought a lot of other fighters with the rhythm. Definitely Teofimo Lopez. I never seen him fight anyone with any decent amount of rhythm, and he's in there moving the way that he does. I think a lot of times he catches those guys just because they're hypnotized by his movement, and they get caught looking at him work. You know what I mean? So that's one advantage that they both displayed in the ring. But the fact that both of these guys are very very I guess you could say egotistical fighters. You know what I'm saying? They come in with very big egos. They're both going to want to set a rhythm to the fight. That they want to set it to, and it's gonna be something to see. I think that's gonna play a big part. Rhythm is gonna play a big part. Whoever's playing to the other man's rhythm will be the one that's exploited, and that's gonna play a big side of who's gonna be demoralized as well too. If one man is in his groove and the other man just can't seem to catch up on beat, it's gonna be a rough night. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a real rough night. But on the side of rhythm with Lomachenko, he has a background in dance, so rhythm is a big part of his game. he hasn't really fought too many opponents with rhythm either. When it comes to rhythm, I look at who has he fought. All right, that has rhythm. I say Guillermo Rigondeaux. He has a good just rhythm to his fight, but Lomachenko's size was just too much for him. Uh, who else? Gary Russell? Nah, Gary Russell doesn't really have great rhythm. He doesn't really have great footwork either, even though he does have tremendous hand speed. If you look at it, that fight, Gary Russell lost that fight, because those guys, even though they were similar in hand speed, Lomachenko and Gary Russell, the foot speed of Lomachenko was just way too much for Gary Russell. It was like he was in quicksand trying to keep up with uh, with Lomachenko. But that's another opponent that might have had some rhythm. Sosa. Sosa, he was a pretty good. He had pretty good rhythm. I think Puerto Rican guy out of NY, Sosa. Forgot his first name, but he had rhythm. And those guys, they tangled for a while. Lomachenko and Sosa, you know what I mean. But as far as just the power and speed, that's what took Sosa out of the game. But I think both of these guys had intentionally had made sure they had fought certain opponents that they had the rhythm advantage over. You know what I mean? But when it comes to that, I will get that to Lomachenko because he has fought more fighters with a rhythmatic type of fighting style. I think if there's anybody else any other opponents he might have fought with a decent amount of rhythm. Nah, nah. I think they kind of avoided those type of guys. So yeah, I would say on Lomachenko's side, maybe just Guillermo Rigondeaux and also that guy Sosa with the blonde hair. You know what I mean? But he was oversized on both of those guys, so Lomachenko exploited that. And Hart. Um, I think both of these guys have an equal amount of heart coming into this fight, just off the fact that Teofimo Lopez he feels like he has a lot to prove. He came into this event like with something to prove. He's like, yo, I'm the young dude. I feel like Lomachenko's on his way out. I'm the young cat. I'm on my way in. I got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let his nuts hang. You feel me? So I feel like that's TFE coming in there with a lot of heart and a lot of confidence. Nobody's ever humbled him. So I feel like he's coming in extremely confident, and that's just a good attribute to have. But on the opposite side of that, I think Lomachenko's coming in with the equal amount of heart because it's one thing to get to the top, it's another thing to stay at the top. And I feel like Lomachenko has a lot to prove. And on top of that, Lomachenko has been tested in the ring, and he's always came out and persevered. So we've seen perseverance on Lomachenko's side. So I think as far as heart, I think they're both coming in with a lot of heart and a lot of grit. So that's equal. As far as the intangibles, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that's equal on that side. So let me get into the prediction side of it. With all that being said, you know, like I said, I couldn't give you guys all the visuals I wanted to give you, but fuck it. You know what I mean? Here's the fun part. How I think this fight is going to go is going to be a test of footwork and a test of will and rhythm. You know what I mean? I think that the volume and output on that Vasyl Lomachenko brings and that he's going to put onto Teofimo Lopez is going to be the advantage on his side, and the quick counters and power is going to be the advantage on Teofimo Lopez's side. Teofimo, I think these guys, whoever's going to be able to inflict their will earlier into the fight is going to be the person who perseveres. Both of these guys have very good footwork. I think Teofimo Lopez, he says that Loma can't fight backwards. I don't think that means that he's going to try to press Lomachenko at all. I think that the fact of the matter is, if you look at Teofimo, he can bounce around the ring, in a step, in one step very well. You know what I mean? If you look at the end of of the Masayoshi Nakatani fight when you seen Tiafimo chasing him around. You know, although he couldn't cut off the ring properly, he chased him down very well. You know, he has a lot of spring to his step. You know what I mean? If he can take those big initial one steps, and I think that these guys it's gonna look like kind of gonna look like one of those Dragon Ball Z fights where these guys kind of bounce from here, bounce to there, bounce to there. You're gonna see a lot of that. I do think Lomachenko is not gonna. Uh, he's gonna try his best to not move straight backwards. Because as soon as if he does, he's getting countered. He's gonna get pounced on. You know what I mean? But Lomachenko tends to circle to his left, circle to his right, rather than just bounce back backwards, go straight backwards. So it's gonna be a wheel of footwork, body blows, uh, To trying to counter Lomachenko in his pressure, and Lomachenko putting out a lot of punches to nullify the power of Tiafimo. So, like I said, Tiafimo has a bad habit of dropping his left hand, which he may be at risk for getting hurt by the right hook of Lomachenko. But at the same time, too, Lomachenko has a very, very bad habit of losing concentration toward the end of fights as he's pressuring his opponent, and sometimes he walks straight in. The only thing about that is Tiafimo is more of a looping type of puncher. He throws a lot more looping punches, uh, and even with that right hand usually comes over or underneath. You know, that left hand is more dangerous coming with that hook more so than that jab. You know what I mean? And Lomachenko usually you only see him get hurt by straight punches. Jorge Linares threw that straight hand straight down the pipe. You know what I mean? With that range, with that reach. You know what I mean? I don't think the same danger of Lomachenko getting hit by Teofimo Lopez is right is the same. You know, Linares and Lopez throw different type of punches. Linares is straight down the pipe. You know what I mean? And Teofimo he throws looping punches, man. And I think that Lomachenko could see those coming a lot better than seeing those straights coming from a taller opponent. So I think that Lomachenko getting countered is going to be a lot less of probability than what it would be as when he fought Linares and Luke Campbell. I think a lot of people didn't really look at that. So if I have to just go ahead and give my boxing fan opinion, I favor Vasyl Lomachenko to win the fight in a unanimous decision. Uh, I just feel like he's gonna beat him in points. His punch output is probably gonna nullify a lot of the power that we see from Teofimo Lopez, and I think he's gonna drown him in the later rounds. And he's gonna do it like that. But as a gambler, I'm gonna put my money on Teofimo Lopez because the possibility of him just being you know too strong for Lomachenko to actually pressure the way he has other fighters in the past, and the possibility of him catching Lomachenko in the later to mid rounds with a very good punch and changing the whole element of the fight. And the odds, damn it, I'm gonna keep it with a buck. The odds, man, the odds is worth it. I see it's a very strong possibility that the Teofimo can hit Lomachenko with something, hurt him, and take over the rest of that fight and possibly put him up out of there. So it's about shit. I don't know what just happened, but all right, wrap it up, man. So like I was saying, man, as a fight fan, I'm definitely going definitely going with Vasyl Lomachenko because I just feel like he's just too much. He's gonna definitely get the unanimous decision and just overwhelm Teofimo Lopez with volume, and he's gonna shut down his power, Lopez's power, and nullify his power with a tremendous amount of output, and just win like that unanimous decision. But as a gambler, I'm gonna put my money with Teofimo Lopez. The odds are just too good, and he could definitely just go ahead and he could hurt Lomachenko in the mid to late rounds and change the whole complexion of the fight. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's all. Take it how you want to. I'm Safe Bud. It's fighting words.